Today's speaker thrives on guiding businesses to unprecedented success. She is a plan maker, an obstacle clearer, and a strategy creator. With a background in branding, marketing strategy, content, and product design, she will help you improve your business and increase your revenue. She has spent a career focused on creating content that is relevant to you and your audience. Here to share with you social media that works, how to decide on your topics, is Nancy Benjamin.
Hello there. I am Nancy Benjamin, an advisor at Cultivate Advisors, and welcome to Social Media That Works, how to decide on your topics. Something near and dear to my own heart, so let's get started. Okay, social media that works. A lot of us know that we want to do social media and have a bunch of different reasons for doing so, right? So, why are you interested in social media for your business? Are you trying to get the free publicity or getting your brand known? Are you driving prospects to your website? You want them to take some action. Maybe you're bringing in leads for sales. Your sales team needs more leads, or you're trying to beat out your competition. Perhaps you're reaching a really local audience, or it's not totally about sales, but you just want to really encourage community engagement. Maybe you want to boost your customer retention, gain some industry recognition, be a thought leader, announce real-time news updates, or improve your SEO. Why don't you throw it into the chat? Why don't you tell me why you're here? What brings you to the party? Why are you interested in social media and feel that it's important for your business? I'll give you about a minute to do that. Look at my trusty stopwatch here. Great. Okay, well, we've got a few responses and we've got a little bit of an idea of why folks are here. We all know we need social media. So the question really becomes now what, right? You know you need it. So now what platform, what content, how will you get noticed? Well, we're going to work mostly on those second two, right? How can we decide on topics that are going to get you noticed, that are unique to your business, and that get across what you want people to remember about your business? So, deciding on your content really shouldn't be that hard. I'm going to lead you through the step-by-step process. We're going to go over best practices, and then you're going to learn how to customize it for your own business, because after all, that's what's important. You want to make sure that it's tailored to the message that you want to convey and to the clients or prospective audience that you want to reach, right? So when we finish, you're going to know how to create these topics and begin doing so. First, a little bit about me and why I'm doing this. When your daughter's a consumer packaged good for Halloween, you've been in advertising for a while. There's my little spaghetti girl right there. I actually started as a copywriter and brand strategist for national ad agencies for over 10 years. Later, I got into marketing strategy and writing and product development for startups. And in between, I ran my own international import business for 2 decades, which I sold. And that's how I got into the consultant business. Occupational hazard, but I've traveled over 60% of the world and counting. Soon as things open up, I'm ready to go. So back to our topic about how we write topics that get traction. There are 7 steps that I'm going to go through with you. Now, I know you're all different experience levels. Some people might have a marketing agency running this for them. Some people might be doing a piece of the puzzle, and some people are totally bootstrapping it for their own small business. It's okay. These are all really solid things to know, even if it's just the way you're evaluating somebody else's work. So let's start at the top. The first piece of the puzzle is value prop. A value proposition is really just talking about what makes your business special. The second piece of the puzzle is competitors. How do you stand out from the competitors? What's your niche? How are you different? The third is what I call a head term. It's a sentence that touts your strengths. It kind of wraps up everything into one and tells people why you're special, how you stand out, and what you really want to be known for. So we're going to use that head term and we're going to decide what we call our content pillars. Content pillars are those 5 items you want to be known for. What is your takeaway? And by the way, in the course of this, I'm giving you a certain formula, 5 items. It doesn't have to be, but this will give you a really breadth of information to start with, right? Pain points, you want to know what kind of problems your target audience is trying to solve. Why are they coming to you in the first place? FAQs, those are frequently asked questions. You want to know what kind of questions a prospective customer might be asking. What are the things that they want to know about? So instead of just figuring out what you want to write about, you want to tailor it to what your prospective customers want to know. And the 7th one is providing value. You're going to answer those FAQs, those frequently asked questions, by using your pillars, your content pillars, and providing solutions. Don't worry if you don't have all this down. We are going to go through it step by step, starting with step number 1, your value prop. Your value prop is why you're special, and that informs everything that you do. You cannot push out a message unless you're crystal clear on your own story. So you want to know what makes your brand special. What do you do differently or better? And one of the questions that I always like to ask, because it makes people a little defensive and says, oh, well, this is why I'm good, is if I had $1 million to invest in your company, why should I bother investing in your company? Because then you want to tell me, oh, well, because we're the only ones who have this widget and put it out in the marketplace in this way. That's a good reason to invest. That's also a really good reason why you're special. So I'll tell you what, let's take about a minute or so, and I want you to take it home for your own business. Write down what your value prop is. What makes you special? Just gonna hang in there for about a minute and give you some time to do that. Throw those into the chat and we can see some of the things that are developing for everyone. Okay, are we ready for the second step here? We've got some good reasons why you're special. Now the second part is the competition. How does your business differ from the competition? Obviously, you're all competing out there in the marketplace. This is something you should know when you're striving for market penetration, when you want to get your message out there in social media. So take a look at your competitors. How do you differ from them? Do you provide any different features, any unique benefits? Do you have an unusual approach to what you do? So then I want you to write down your strongest attributes. Think of what they might be. Do you have stellar service compared to your competitors? Maybe everybody's complaining on reviews that they never pick up the phone. Who knows, right? Do you have loyal customers? So that's kind of proof of your good work, or maybe your competition just started. Do you have the highest rated product so that compared to your competition, you rate better? Are you the only manufacturer to use a certain thing? or the only service to employ a certain methodology? What is it that sets you apart from the other competitors? I'm going to give you another minute. Think about that, apply it to your own business, and think about how you're different from your competitors. Throwing these in the chat. Okay, we've had a little time to do that. One of the things I like to think about sometimes is when somebody really screws something up, right? How can you say like, oh, we don't do that because X and Y and Z? Sometimes it's easy to think of ideas when you think of a bad way to do something, right? Okay, moving right along to step 3. Now, this is your head term. Remember, we already talked about this a little bit in the intro. This is the one sentence that says what you do. You're going to pull together what you believe your value prop is, how you differ from your competitors, and you're going to wrap that all up into one sentence, please, just one, that might be something somebody wants to talk about, or a way that they can refer you to somebody else. Now, here's an example for dry cleaners. We're the highest rated dry cleaners in Chicago, known for gentle care of fine garments and exceptional service for 50 years. So when you write something like that, think about those unique claims, those unique benefits that make you special and set you apart from the competition. Look what this one sentence has in it. We're the highest rated. We're known for gentle care. We specialize in fine garments. Our service is exceptional. None of this nonsense maybe that you get from somebody else. And we have been around a long time, which is usually proof that you're doing something right, right? So you've got all those qualities embedded in that head term. All right, now we're going to practice on this one. Let's all come up with a head term. I know it might take a few passes. That's okay. Do your head term. And if you're feeling brave, throw it into the chat. Don't be shy. And let's talk about what would make a good head term for a business. I'm going to give you another minute or so to do that. How are we doing? Did it seem difficult for folks? Or you feel like you kind of have that down? Because we're going to use this head term and those unique terms you put in there to get to our next step. Step number 4. These are the 5 items. Remember, we're calling those our content pillars. They are the pillars that hold up the building, that hold up your business, right? In advertising, we call it a takeaway. What is the takeaway that you want people to have from the accumulation of all your social media, for all your posts? What do you want to be known for? Those are what content pillars are. They're called content pillars, obviously, because those traits are going to be the pillars that you pull your content from. So think of them as 5 things you want to be known for. In our example for dry cleaning, highest rated, gentle care, fine garments, exceptional service, and being around for 50 years, right? So those are those 5 content pillars that we're going to use, and we're going to determine all of our content from that after a couple more steps. But I want you to try it out right now. Feel free once again to throw it in the chat. But either way, I'm going to give you a minute, minute and a half to put that down for your own business. Let's figure out what our content pillars are. What are the 5 things you want to be known for? Now, obviously, I want you to practice some of these things today, but it doesn't mean that you have to get them all down immediately. Obviously, you can go away and think about, oh, maybe I want to be known for this as opposed to this. Maybe you only have 3 content pillars. That's okay. But for the purpose of the example today, 5 things you want to be known for. And then we're going to add in our next step. This is step 5. I call it Who Loves You, right? Who is your target audience? Who is a target audience? A target audience is who cares about what you have to offer. Who's interested in that? Who has the problem that you're going to solve? And one of the ways to figure this out is to figure out who your current clients are. How old are they? Approximately, age range 25 to 34 or something like that. What is their position? What is the exact title of their position? Are they a VP of marketing or a CMO or a director of marketing? What is that title? Are they married or single? Does it matter? What gender are they? Are you only speaking to women? Where they're located. Obviously, there are cultural influences based on where they're located, or maybe it's got something to do with the weather, whatever it is you're providing, right? What language do they speak? And what are their interests? Are they DIY hobbyists? Are they value shoppers? What kind of interest do they have? Do they like outdoorsy pursuits? You want kind of a full-fledged picture of who your clients are. And are the prospects like them who you want? And if not, if you're trying to shift your business and target somebody else a little bit, what are those people like? Go across some of those same categories and figure out who are you talking to, because social media is not a billboard. It is a conversation. You want engagement. You want to relate to people like you would in a conversation, and you want them to care about what you're saying. The more you know about them and what they're about, the more you can do that. So we want to figure out who they are and what they care about. When we talk about what they care about, these are what we call pain points or problems that they're seeking a solution for. When you go online to buy a tent, it's because you're going camping and your last tent leaked like crazy, right? What is the problem that you have that you're trying to solve? Here's an example with our dry cleaners. Maybe they're affluent folks who have fine garments and they want them cleaned very gently. Maybe they're brides whose dresses are keepsakes, they're heirlooms, and they want to make sure they're cleaned right? Maybe they're professionals who use dry cleaning often and they need extra accommodating service, like hours that work with their work schedule. Maybe they can't get there till 8. Maybe they need a drop-off service because they're so busy. Who cares about what you have to offer? Who are your clients? Now, I know a lot of us have an overall general view, but we want to get as specific as possible here. So think about who it is that you're talking to. I'll just give you about 30 seconds or so and just write a few traits down. If you know the age, their titles, where they're located, their gender, and their interests, it's a good start. Give you a few more seconds here. Okay, coming up next, step 6 out of 7, your FAQs. Those are the frequently asked questions. You know who your prospects or clients are. What kind of questions do they ask? It's the old who, how, what, where, when, right? In the example of our dry cleaner, who's the best rated dry cleaner in Chicago? Maybe they want the best person. After all, they're concerned about fine garments, right? How can I get my dry cleaning dropped off? What is the difference between good and bad dry cleaning? Who handles fine garments in Chicago? Where can I get the best dry cleaning service? And excuse all my Chicago examples. Obviously, I'm a Chicagoan, so there we go. But anyway, frequently asked questions. What are the questions that people just ask when they're looking for something, when they're considering your service? What do they want to know? I'll tell you, there is an extra bonus about FAQs, about frequently asked questions. They also tend to be the way people search when they're on the internet. When they're on the internet, you might ask a question, right? Which plant will survive Chicago winters? And maybe you have a solution to that because you have a whole range of plants that are hardy and grown in this area, right? But because that's the way somebody searches, you have a better chance of being found because they're looking for exactly the information that you're talking about. It's good for your SEO. It's good for your search engine optimization to be able to answer FAQs. Okay. So step 7 is we are going to bring it all together here. Okay. You've got your 5 content pillars, or however many you have, and you know what kind of FAQs people ask about. Who is the best? How can I get this? What's the difference between folks? And you know who you're talking to, how old your audience is, so maybe you can talk to them in a certain way. You want to know all these things to bring it all together. So keep in mind your prospects' pain points and that you're the solution to their problem for each of these frequently asked questions they might have. And you're going to provide valuable information. And that's why your topics are going to get traction. That's why your social media is going to have engagement. That's why they're going to want to read what you have to say. Okay. I'm going to give you one example, and that is the gentle care pillar that we use for dry cleaning. How does this all work? How do I use my pillars and what people might be asking and wondering about and speak to my audience about it? Let's look and see how we did it in this instance, right? Dry cleaning without the risk of damage. 5 things that will shock you about dry cleaners. How to dry clean wedding dresses safely. What a fine tailor taught me about dry cleaning. And Chicago boutique owners weigh in on the best dry cleaning. All of these are pointing to this gentle care, fine garment aspect that you have for your business. You see how you pull the topics out of that? Somebody's asking, like, why do they want gentle care? Well, how do I not get things damaged? People are saying, what difference does it make that you tell me you have gentle care? Well, you'd be shocked to know what really goes on with dry cleaning, right? People who have wedding dresses automatically want that gentle care. So they want to know how they can do this safely. They're a little bit afraid about it. So you see how each topic leans into one of your pillars? I want you guys to try this out. I know this is the challenging one, But think about whatever pillars you put down: stellar service, highest rated, longest lasting, whatever it is. Think of whatever pillars you put down, and then try to think of some topics that relate to the questions people might ask to about those particular content pillars. Okay, I'm going to give you a little over a minute. We're on the fast track here. You're welcome to throw them into the chat. Maybe you have a title you're particularly proud of. Give us the little synopsis of your content pillar. Give us that title, and we'll all be able to learn from this together. Okay, you can do a little bit more of this. Obviously, later we're going to move along and sum up just what we've learned in this webinar today. Remember that you're the trusted source, and you're going to get SEO from these terms, from these FAQs, and be found better if you're answering the questions your audience has, right? You want to be seen as the brand who understands their needs, who has the insight, who develops something that solves their problem. And you're also starting a prospect's interest in your product or service. You're bringing them into the sales funnel. They're thinking like, there's something to what these guys say. Maybe next time they're going to evaluate you against somebody else. And the next time they're going to be like, you know what? I'm convinced that these are the people I want to deal with, right? You're going to have greater brand awareness for warmer leads. Everybody knows it's hard to sell a cold lead. As warm as they can get, the better. And then you're going to drive some prospects to action. Some people are just going to say, hey, they know what they're talking about. I'm in, right? So recap again: value prop, competitors, head term, get those content pillars, know what the pain point is of your target audience, what kind of questions they ask, and provide value by using your FAQs and using your pillars and speaking to your audience to provide solutions. So that's it. If you get this down and you follow this system, your social media will definitely get more traction, and you'll be able to generate more and more and more topics that'll work for you and your business. So thank you for joining me. Nancy Benjamin again, Cultivate Advisors, and I'd be free to answer any questions if you like. All right. Thanks so much.